folks. Jeff Peterman here, the Conservinator, here for another night edition of Conservinator Nation. Man, has there been a lot happening in the news to talk about. Shouldn't be a surprise, as certainly we are in the most important election cycle of my 36-year life. But I think that today it's especially important to chat because I see a lot of misinformation happening online, and I'd like to correct it a little bit. Certainly, I don't blame this misinformation because it really is directed at Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, and it comes from simply a fear of things that people hear and they don't know the details about. So I just want to clear some things up. Barack Obama is not going to have a third term, folks. We can stop fearing about that. As a matter of fact, there would have to be a complete suspension of the 20th Amendment, and that's not going to happen. The most that could happen is that the election would be postponed, and it would have to be held before January 20th. That is the Constitution, and there's nothing that Barack Obama can do to change that, short of take over as grand dictator and emperor. And even though I don't like most of the Republicans right now for their spinelessness, I don't even think they're going to allow that. And quite frankly, it's been interesting to see the way that the media has come out of the woodwork here the last couple of days and really started to actually do their job, some of them, in respect to reporting on Hillary Clinton's health. So, no matter what happens with Hillary Clinton, there are certainly several different options that could happen, the most likely of which, actually I think there's two likely options. We could have a Joe Biden, Tim Kaine ticket. Now, that's going to be tough because there's voting happening already. Early voting has started. But I think that Tim Kaine pretty much has to stay on the ticket at this point, whether he is the presidential nominee or still the vice president. But there could also be a Tim Kaine ticket, and he could pick a vice president and when Hillary drops out. I will go on record tonight as saying I do believe Hillary Clinton will drop out of the race. I don't think it'll be a choice. The problem she's going to face is she sold favors to a lot of countries out there. So we have countries out there that are expecting her to get into office, and they certainly, if she lost to Donald Trump, wouldn't have much to say about it. I mean, really. But if she drops out, there's going to be a lot of really unhappy, nasty people out there, many of the Muslim Brotherhood caliber, that are going to be pretty angry with the Clintons. But I don't feel the Democrat Party is prepared to continue to allow this self-destruction to happen. So I think what we're going to see over the next 72 hours is really the completion of this self-destruction of Hillary Clinton and her campaign. I think it's a good thing, not just because I am a constitutional conservative, but because Hillary Clinton is not well. I don't see how we can continue talking about this being pneumonia. I mean, maybe she has pneumonia and she's just an awful grandmother, but she said she went back to Chelsea's apartment and played with her grandchild. If you have pneumonia, folks, you don't go play with babies. That's not how it works. You're contagious, and babies can die when they get pneumonia. So one of two things happen. Either she just doesn't care, or she's lying. I personally think that she has some type of a seizure condition that was brought about by this concussion. I think there's a good chance she may even be in advanced stages of Parkinson's. And if you really look at the video and you see what happened, she seized, and then she collapsed. And that would actually make sense in the long run when you look at the fact that several hours later she said she was feeling better. So we can't have someone with an uncontrolled seizure condition as the president of the United States. Can't happen. So I really feel like right now, regardless of what happens, we are more than likely looking at a President Donald Trump. And I think that conservatives need to start to get their mind around that. Whether you like him or not, Mike Pence is a fantastic individual. He is a man who is God-fearing. He is pro-life with exceptions, which I have an issue with, but at least he's pro-life and not for abortion on demand. I hope as we move forward that we'll see somebody like a Mike Pence as president someday here, and that he will be the catalyst to help us overturn Roe v. Wade. I don't know if that's the case or not. But that certainly would be a fantastic thing for our nation and really for babies moving forward if we could stop this genocide and these millions and millions of babies being slaughtered and dismembered and sold for parts. So that's where we're at, folks. There's not going to be a third term of Barack Obama. We do have a constitution. He can have a pen and a phone as much as he wants to. He doesn't have a pen and a phone that is powerful enough to overturn the 20th Amendment. And while we could see the election be postponed until January, I don't even think that's really likely at this point. As I said, I think in the next week or so, we're going to have a resolution to this, and we'll more than likely see Tim Kaine as the Democrat nominee. If you don't know much about him, you need to start learning. I'm going to be actually writing a blog about him in the next couple of days. Tim Kaine is a Jesuit Catholic. Look up what Jesuits are. Just as a spoiler alert, the current Pope is a Jesuit. Anyway, have a fantastic night, folks. This certainly is shaping up to be quite the election cycle, one that will go down in history, and I am looking forward to seeing how it all plays out. We'll talk to you all later.